They weren't just college hippies and stuff.
There was no experimenting with drugs. Everyone was getting stuck in.
Going out and doing, and they were doing it every night.
Yeah, but you're right. Also, that you know, the fact that when you had that thing with Blur, it was on the news. Who was going to be number one? The news at 10. Yeah. There's this strange thing that couldn't happen now and wouldn't have happened before. I don't think either. No. That suddenly that seemed to be incredibly. Well,
it was just a moment in time. I mean, when we got to do that documentary again, when we came up with the idea for the film, and the guy said, you know, we're going to focus on that period of the 2.5 years from you signing off to play Nebworth, and I went, right, what? 2.5 years from signing off the Dole to walking on stage at Nebworth.
Is that true?
And I went, I'm going to check that. That can't be true.
Yeah.
2.5 years. And I was like...
That is incredible.
I mean, I do tours now that are longer than that. Yeah. You know, and like you come back and the world has changed. I was like, wow, that's an incredible...
It took me 2.5 years to get The Office on telly after writing it. Never know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's like incredibly quick.
That is really quick. That's incredible.
And they were saying, how did you deal with it? And I was like, it's the only time you're telling me now I've kind of got goosebumps and thinking, wow, that was quick, you know. At the time, we were just in it, and then you'll kind of go from one gig to the next.
I did remember it wrong as well, or I never knew it, because at the time, you kicked the door down and you were there, right? Yeah. It was there, you know. I didn't know the, you know, behind the scenes or anything. But I didn't know all the stuff that, you know, you came along and said, yeah, you're a good singer, but the songs are shit, and I'll do. Is that all true?
Yeah, not in a roundabout kind of way. Liam, he was in this band for not long. I'd say a couple of months, and he didn't. They were writing songs, the four of them.
And but you were a roadie for the Inspiral Carpets.
I was a roadie for the Inspiral Carpets at that time, so I was kind of travelling the world and doing all that. And he had the idea that I was writing songs, but not for any other particular reason than just for enjoyment and getting.
But why did he think you were any good? Why did he?
No idea.
Had he heard them?
No.
And how did you get him to say? I mean, because that was his band. How did you get him to say, "It's my band now"? I mean, I know it wasn't technically,
because at that point, I think he knew what side his bread was put on. Do you know what I mean? Whereas,
right.
I mean, it wasn't.
But you've been writing songs for a while.
Yeah, but not like to record them or to do anything. I shared a bedroom with him for years, so I'd play and, you know, just write songs as a hobby kind of thing. And then he thought, well, let's get him in and see if he can write some songs. And it was on the second. I went on the first rehearsal and I kind of jammed along with him. I was like, yeah, it was all right, it's a good laugh, you know. And then the second, I thought, these songs aren't very good, but yeah, if I play that, you play this, and then you join in. And there was one moment where the band all joined in, and I said to Liam, I wrote these words, and I sing this, and it just all came to life, and I became obsessed from that minute.
Really?
When you hear your own song,
what was the song with it? Was it just like? And where did the sort of baggy sound come from? Was that like?
I'm not sure. That's what we were. That's what had gone previous, the Manchester thing. So that had come to an end. And from 91 to 93, we were kind of fine. I was kind of find the sound. It was coming out of the arse end of baggy, and it was good.
Also, I could tell the fact that you started with feedback, and you know you were a guitarist and you wanted to. But then
one afternoon, I wrote "Live Forever," and that changed everything. I went down to the rehearsal room and played it to them, and then it felt that one night we were one kind of band, and the next day we were the band that we all know.
Yeah, you added art. I think it was clear.
I'd had a moment, and I knew what it was I was trying to say.
But that thing of being like just pissing about and on the dole and playing some songs in your room, and then thinking, no, wait a minute, there's something real here. When I first came to Oasis, I thought there was something fully formed about it, and also about your attitude. It was like, no, we are. I mean, you were young, so you were very happy to say.
Well, how old were you? You were slightly older than me.
I was 25, but I must say, I was the only one with the attitude of like, we're gonna wreck this.
It looked like it was both of you.
But I was the only one that believed it.
But everyone believes that. Everyone believes that.
But I remember being in meetings and me saying, before the first album came out, saying to Alan McGee, we're going to be the biggest band in the world, and everyone going, yeah, of course, yeah, totally, and then all kind of look at each other. And looking back on it years later, I was thinking, I believed it.
Right. Why do you think you believed that?
Because I knew, because the songs that I'd written, there was only a few songs that people did, but I'd written another 15 or 20, which became Morning Glory. So I knew. I knew what was coming.
But it was totally about the music. It wasn't about like we're going to be the biggest band in the world because we've got the music, but also we've got the attitude. And
no, it was all about the music for me.
Let's play a record.
Okay, you got any Tina Turner?
I haven't got any Tina Turner. No.
You've got some Rolling Stones, though, I imagine.
I've got some Stones. Fall to Cry.
Oh, I love Fall to Cry. I can tell you a story about Fall to Cry after this. I've got play it, and then I'll play a bit of it, and I've got a story about it.
That was Fall to Cry by the Rolling Stones. Big fan of the Stones?
Absolutely.
Can I tell you my Fall to Cry story?
Go on.
All right. So I was at a party that Mick Jagger was at not very long ago. This was actually the night of the election. And I've met him a couple of times. He's always been very friendly. I wouldn't say he's a friend of mine. But anyway, he did a very Mick Jagger thing, which was there was a young blonde woman at this party. She was about 21 or something. And to be honest with you, she was so young, I'm not sure she would have known who the Rolling Stones were, but it didn't matter. He went straight over to her, and next thing I know, they are canoodling. They are, he's whispering in her ear. I think they're basically snogging. I mean, this is a 73-year-old bloke or whatever. It's very impressive. Yeah. Anyway, another woman starts
talking. Mick, get off, you're my granddad.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Sorry.
No, she seemed fine with it. So then another woman is talking to me, right? I'm chatting to this, and this woman starts telling me about her son, I think, and said, and she was quite a loud woman, American woman. So my son is this person, and he's there, blah, blah, blah. He's 14. He's an idiot. And you know what? Even though he's 14, he cries all the time. And then she saw Mick Jagger out the corner of her eye, and she started singing Fool to Cry at the top of her voice, right? And keeps going. Like, didn't stop. Like, kept going. And he's getting off with this girl. And he doesn't want to hear Fool to Cry being sung in the back. Keeps going. Eventually, Mick takes his lips off this woman and goes, yeah, well done to this woman, and then carries on snogging her. But what I thought was amazing about it is when I meet Mick Jagger, to some extent when I meet you, right, all I really want to do is start singing Live Forever when I see you really loudly, or when I see Mick Jagger, every time I've met him, I've had chats about other stuff. What I want to be doing is saying, fucking hell, you wrote Satisfaction, but that's the thing you can't do. But she'd done it.
Yeah.
This sort of completely graceless American had done the thing you can't do, which is sing a Rolling Stones song in front of Mick Jagger.
And going into the second verse.
The second verse. I think she'd done backing vocals, the whole thing. And I loved that about her for that moment.
It's people not quite knowing how to behave or having no self-awareness.
Yes.
I'm fascinated with that.
It's sometimes really brilliant though, because I think they do the thing. I mean, to some extent, that's what you do with David Brent, or what Steve does with Alan Partridge. David Brent, to some extent, is you without any self-awareness.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, no, I'm fascinated with that because the reason I did in sort of excruciating social faux pas is that it's the only thing that affects us. We're not in a country where our firstborn is dying of dysentery or we're being shot at, or there's no injustice to us. So the worst thing that happens to us, the people at the top of the tree, is a bit of bad service, or we embarrass ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, what's great about you is you don't only embarrass yourself a lot, but you sort of quite cherish it.
Yeah.
I just in front of Noel, I want to bring up something. David does a show called